What is going on YouTube? K293 here with a video remastered version of my Sonic Reverse tutorial. And I just released the Sonic Normal tutorial remastered. So go ahead and check that out first. That is technically a prereq if you're doing the Sonic and then the Sonic Rev, but you could as easily learn the Sonic Rev and then the Sonic whatever. I just think I tend to follow convention that you learn the forward trick first and then the reverse, because that seems to make the most sense. And so that's how I'm doing that. Sorry. The Sonic Reverse looks something like this. And it's exactly the reverse of what normal Sonic is. Surprise, surprise. So I mentioned in my Sonic tutorial that if you're holding it in the 2-3 finger slot like I did in that tutorial and doing it into the 1-2 finger slot like that you need to push essentially with your ring finger to do a swing like motion like that. And I told you guys about this kind of swing motion with regards to the charge as well. Just anywhere to get the pen to have a little bit of momentum before you finish off the trick. So with the Sonic, it's like this, and then if you were to continue the motion and not let the pen stop like I just did, it would go behind your middle finger, and then you would be able to catch it just like that. So the reverse Sonic, or Sonic Reverse, is done pretty much, think of it as kind of upside down from the regular Sonic. What I mean by that is I'm going to do this now from the 1-2 finger slot to the 2-3 finger slot. So already that is backwards because I did the Sonic from here. And keep in mind, when you do a Sonic, the pen moves up your hand. The Sonic Reverse moves the pen down your hand, just like that. So as I mentioned, you're using your here, if you're holding it here, or in any finger slot, you're using the bottom finger to extend it and then push it out to start the Sonic. On the flip side of that, if you're doing the Sonic Reverse, you use the top finger of the finger slot to push the pen and give it that swing. Now, I just did, a typical mistake, which is putting a little too much force behind it, / not closing my fingers a little bit enough. Now, I mentioned in the Sonic tutorial that if you are able to keep your fingers parallel like this when you do this, so your index and your ring fingers are parallel when you have your middle finger down a little bit, or if you can do even better than that, then you have enough flexibility to do the trick. Same thing applies with the Sonic Reverse. You're holding the pen here, and very, very similar to the Charge Reverse tutorial. Again, no real surprise there. Go ahead and check that out if you guys are having a little bit of trouble with this, but you need to generate a little bit of momentum from the start. And I like to start with the pen kind of drooping down like this, and then it's a little bit of a wrist flick motion as well as a finger motion. So your finger is going to, your index finger anyway, or whatever the top finger is of the finger slot, is going to push back. Right? It's going to push back. And relative to what back is, it's going to do that. Except this is very linear. So the way to generate swing is to kind of do this with your hand. You kind of go from a very palm side motion to almost a palm up. It's kind of more like palm diagonal, but that's not a technical term, so I'm not going to use it. But you go from here, and then you can curl your hand in a little bit if you want. And then when you open your hand out, it's going to move in that direction. Now, the way you want to do this is it's really hard to explain how this works. Push the pen back, push your index finger back, and just naturally, because you're holding the pen in this finger slot, the pen is going to go in that direction already. And you just kind of want to continue this motion by pushing down on your index finger and then back a little bit, and that'll give the pen a little bit of room to spin around. And just like in the regular Sonic, when you get to the point where the pen is just about perpendicular with your hands, or your fingers, you want to start thinking about moving your middle finger forward or towards you. I need to really get straight what I mean by forward. You want to move it closer towards you, so kind of curl in a little bit, and then think about pushing your ring finger back at the same time. So it goes from holding the pen here, and then when the pen's just about perpendicular, I guess that is more so perpendicular, you want to, what I call swap in the last video. You want to swap which pen is holding, or which fingers are holding the pen. So when you first start, it's going to be your index finger and your middle finger. Again, if you're doing it from the 1-2 finger slot. But when you swap it, it's now going to be the index finger and the ring finger are now slightly holding it. And since you have that forward spinning momentum, when you move your middle finger forward, the pen is going to fall in this little space between your middle finger and the front of these two fingers. And then it's going to spin this way. And then when it gets to the point where it already spins past your middle finger, as in it's not perfectly straight with your index finger, spins past it a little bit, that's when you want to start moving your middle finger back a little bit, because then you can hold the pen as it's coming down into the finger slot that you need to catch it in. So very much upside down of how you would do the regular Sonic. So if you guys have already mastered the Sonic, just like that, doing it backwards is not, or doing it in the reverse fashion is like doing it upside down, is really not that difficult. And if you guys learned the charge rev before this, again, I would recommend you guys watching that tutorial if you're having trouble with that swing in the beginning, because the charge is very reliant on having a circular, or the charge reverse is very dependent on having that kind of forward spinning momentum that you need for the Sonic. If you guys have trouble, go see my charge reverse tutorial remastered, and that should help you out a lot. Now, if you want to take this very, very step by step, you want to generate that momentum, and then again, when it's just about perpendicular, move your middle finger forward. But if you want to really take it step by step, let the pen fall into here and catch it. If you're having a very big problems with doing, let's see if I can do it, doing that, as in if you're giving it too much momentum and then the pen kind of falls down like that, try just doing that forward swing, but then catching it and stopping it here with your ring finger and your index finger kind of clamping on it. And then from here, once you do that consistently, it's only a matter of moving your index finger off of the pen. That you do that by letting it go, kind of like that. And then at the same time, you want to move your middle finger back. So you kind of go from this to this. And then when you do that, the pen, from its momentum, should naturally swing back into this place. So hopefully that helped. This has been my remastered tutorial for the Sonic Reverse. Again, hope this helped you guys out a lot. If you haven't already, please feel free to rate, comment, and subscribe for more content in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next video.